Now, with John Harbaugh being out as the Ravens head coach, the obvious next question is, well, who's now going to take over? Some of the names we've seen linked to Baltimore already is you have current Viking DC Brian Flores, Jesse Minter, who is the defensive coordinator for the LA Chargers, Chris Shula, who is the defensive coordinator for the LA Rams, Clint Kubiak, who is the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks, and Cliff Kingsbury, who was most recently the offensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders. And it seems like most fans pretty much want Brian Flores to take over as the head coach. With the defensive struggles these last few years, especially since McDonald's been gone, they wanted to bring that presence back. We've seen the success with Minnesota and even his time in Miami with the success of the defense and bring back to what we know as Baltimore Ravens football is good defensive football. And I like Brian Flores. The only question I would have is his time in Miami as the head coach, because clearly, for some of you that may know, it didn't work out that well in the end. There were the issues between him and ownership, where ownership was trying to get him to tank, it sounds like. And then the issues he had with Tua, and then kind of with just other players on the team, and kind of burning bridges, it sounds like, with the players. But there's more to that I'm sure that could be revealed in time, but we'll see what happens. Some people, at least the media, has been linking Cliff Kingsbury a lot to the Ravens, which I understand. I mean, we've seen what he's done with Jaden Daniels in Washington. He was the former Cardinals head coach, and he had Kyler Murray and the success they had early on in Arizona. Personally, this is the last person I want to see as the head coach. I do not want to see this at all, respectfully. I think he'd be a good offensive coordinator, but head coach, pretty much it seems like everywhere he's gone, you're really not going to be that successful. I mean, his time in Arizona wasn't that great. His time in college wasn't all that great either, especially when he had Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback. It's like he doesn't really win as a head coach where he goes. So if he's offense coordinator for Baltimore, sure, it's okay. I think we'll probably end up similar to like a Greg Roman situation where it may work early on, but overall it's not going to be a lasting success model. Beyond those guys, and like I said, I do like Brian Flores a lot. I also like Clint Kubiak, who is, as I've said, the Seattle offense coordinator. I know a lot of people want defensive heavy, they want more defense focused, but I feel like at least what we've seen on paper, there's a better chance to get a good defensive coordinator than there is to get an offensive coordinator, because most likely wherever John Harbaugh ends up, he's taking Todd Monken with him. And I feel like with the Ravens being so defensively focused for so long, that I feel like it's time to really put more of an emphasis on the offense, especially with having guys like, obviously, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, and so on and so forth. So having an offensive-minded coach that, if they bring in their own offense coordinator, could really make this offense even that next, it can make them even that much better. And I think it's time. I mean, we've seen the defense be such a focus for so long, even before Lamar Jackson was a quarterback, where even during the Joe Flacco years, the offense wasn't as good as it could have been, just because they just couldn't get a good offense coordinator around for that long. So having a head coach that understands the offense, understands what Lamar can do with the football, and understands how to utilize him and this offense could take this team to another level. And Chris Shula is also a good option. I mean, we've seen what the Sean McVay tree can do. It generally produces fairly well overall. I know people have mentioned Brandon Staley when his time with the LA Chargers didn't work out that well, and obviously most recently Raheem Morris with the Falcons. But beyond those two guys, for the most part, the tree is pretty solid. I mean, you have Kevin McConnell, Matt LaFleur, and Chris Shula has turned, this Rams defense into one of the best defenses in the league, especially with a lot of young talent on that team. I mean, even I think it's Mike LaFleur, their offense coordinator for the Rams. Again, another Sean McVay, LaFleur kind of connection is a good option as well. Either way, whether they get Brian Flores or they get someone else I mentioned, or someone from the college ranks, or someone who I haven't mentioned at all, it's got to be someone who understands this team, understands where the future is heading, and obviously get that defense back in order, fix the trenches, and just try to win some games, because this team is good enough to win a Super Bowl. Obviously, Eric DeCosta, just with this past year, didn't do that great of a job with the roster, because clearly it didn't work out. We can get on the same page there, bring in some new faces, revitalize this organization just a bit. We could see this team win a Super Bowl very soon. So we'll see what happens, and obviously I'll keep you all updated to whatever happens and what news comes out. So